Welcome to the channel, where we uncover the hidden stories behind everyday coins. Rarest coins. Today, we're talking about a coin you've probably seen hundreds of times without giving it a second thought. It's small, silver-colored, and worth 25 cents. Or is it? Because today, we're diving deep into the 1996 Washington quarter, a coin that, under the right circumstances, has been linked to a shocking price tag of $2.4 million. That's right, a single quarter potentially worth more than a luxury home. Let's rewind and take a look at where this story begins. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of the first president of the United States, George Washington. Originally intended as a one-year commemorative issue, the design was so well received that it became the new permanent quarter. It was designed by John Flanagan, and it featured a profile of Washington on the front and a majestic eagle with outstretched wings on the back. This design stayed in circulation for over 6 decades. The 1996 Washington quarter, struck just a few years before the United States launched its famous 50-state quarters program, still carried this traditional design. In fact, 1996 marked one of the final years before the shift in quarter designs that would captivate collectors in the years to come. Now let's get specific. The 1996 P quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is denoted by the small letter P on the coin. In that year alone, more than 900 million Washington quarters were minted in Philadelphia. That's nearly 1 billion coins. So the logical question becomes this: how can a coin that was produced in such massive numbers be worth anything more than face value? The answer lies in rarity. But not just rarity in terms of how many were made. Instead, we're talking about the rarity of condition, mint errors, and incredibly unusual characteristics that make certain coins stand out to collectors. These characteristics can take an otherwise ordinary coin and launch it into the realm of incredible value. Now, you might be wondering, what's the story behind the 1996 Washington quarter that allegedly sold for $2.4 million? While no official auction records from major platforms like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers confirm a public sale at that amount, the story persists in collector circles and across the internet. According to reports, the coin in question was not your average quarter. It was said to have a rare minting error and was in an extraordinarily high grade. Some claim it was struck on a foreign planchet or on a coin blank intended for a different denomination, possibly even a dime or another country's coin. Others suggest it was a double denomination error or had a unique metallic composition due to an accidental mix-up at the mint. What added to its mystique was the condition. Graded as Mint State 68 or even higher by professional grading services, this coin was virtually flawless. Coins with such high grades are rare because even tiny blemishes can drastically reduce the value. A high-grade, rare error coin can command staggering prices from collectors, especially when it's truly one of a kind. So was the sale real? The answer is that it's hard to verify. Some sources suggest it was a private sale between collectors, which would explain the lack of public record. Others speculate the figure may have been inflated or misunderstood. Regardless, the buzz around this story highlights one important fact: rare coins, even modern ones, can be worth life-changing sums of money. Now let's talk about what you should look for in your own 1996 Washington quarters. First, check the mint mark. Make sure you're looking at a quarter with a clear P mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. Next, examine the coin's condition. If your coin looks almost brand new with sharp details, no scratches, and no signs of wear, you may have a high-grade specimen. Such coins can be worth far more than 25 cents, sometimes reaching into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on market demand. Then look for errors. These include things like double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. These minting errors are incredibly popular among collectors because of their rarity and uniqueness. If you believe you found something unusual, consider sending it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll be able to authenticate it, assign it a grade, and give you documentation that adds value and legitimacy to your coin. And remember, just because a coin is old doesn't mean it's valuable. And just because a coin is modern doesn't mean it's worthless. The coin world is full of surprises. Coins with errors or unusual histories can go from ordinary to extraordinary in the blink of an eye. So the next time you're going through your spare change, take a closer look. That 1996 P quarter sitting at the bottom of your pocket could be more than just a piece of metal. It might be a rare collector's dream. Maybe not worth $2.4 million, but who knows? You might be the one to discover something even rarer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery of the 1996 P Washington quarter and you want to learn more about rare coins, valuable finds, and numismatic treasures, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. There's a world of history in your hands, and sometimes it's worth a fortune. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like a version with timing suggestions, a voiceover-ready draft, or graphics ideas for the video. Welcome back to the channel, and get ready for an incredible deep dive into one of the most talked-about coins in modern numismatics, the 1988 D Washington quarter. This simple 25-cent coin that many people have held in their hands may appear ordinary at first glance, but there is a fascinating story behind it, from its origins and history to rumors of one being worth a jaw-dropping $2.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around, because today we're going to break down the history, the production, the value, and most importantly, the truth behind whether a 1988 D quarter can really make you a millionaire. Let's start from the beginning. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, by John Flanagan, features a left-facing profile of President Washington on the obverse and a heraldic eagle on the reverse. The design remained largely unchanged until the late 1990s, which means that the 1988 D quarter followed this classic and timeless design. In 1988, the Denver Mint produced over 596 million Washington quarters. This large mintage means that the 1988 D is not considered rare in general circulation. It is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy with a copper core and weighs about 5.67 grams. It's 24.3 millimeters in diameter and has a reeded edge. Visually and structurally, it looks like any other quarter from the era. But as any seasoned collector will tell you, the real value of a coin often lies not just in how many were made, but in how few were preserved in perfect condition or how unique a specific error might be. Most 1988 D quarters that you'll find in your pocket change are worth just that. 25 cents. Even ones in lightly circulated condition may only be worth a small premium to collectors who are trying to complete a date and mint mark set. However, if you find one in pristine mint state condition that has never been circulated and still retains its original luster, then you could be holding on to something special. A coin graded MS65, which means mint state 65, can bring in between $5 and $15 depending on the market, and buyer interest coins graded MS66 can command anywhere from $30 to $80, and coins in MS67, which are extremely rare, can fetch upwards of a few $100s to over $1,000. So, what about that $2.1 million claim? Is it real? Has someone actually sold a 1988 D Washington quarter for millions? The short answer is no, and here's why. While there have been headlines floating around online suggesting that a single 1988 D quarter sold for more than $2 million, those stories often lack credible sources or verifiable auction records. In fact, the highest known price paid for a 1988 D quarter was for one graded MS67, which sold for over $1,600 at a reputable auction. That is a lot for a modern clad quarter, but it's a far cry from $2 million. So, where does that $2.10 million number come from? Often these viral claims are based on misunderstood or exaggerated information. Sometimes people confuse extremely rare error coins with regular mint issues. In other cases, social media posts or articles throw out big numbers to attract attention without verifying the facts. It's also possible that a quarter could become incredibly valuable if it featured a never-before-seen error or had some truly unique historical significance. But as of now, there is no certified 1988 D Washington quarter that has ever sold for or been appraised at anywhere near $2 million. That said, certain error coins from this year and mint can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a quarter struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime or foreign coin, can be extremely valuable. Depending on condition, a double die error or an off-center strike can also increase a coin's value significantly. And then there's the possibility of coins missing their clad layer, which gives them a coppery appearance. Those can sometimes fetch high prices from eager collectors. To find out if your 1988 D-quarter is valuable. Here's what to do. First, check the condition. If it looks brand new, has a shiny finish, and know where you may want to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Next, look for signs of errors. Does the coin appear off-center? Is there doubling on the letters or numbers? Does it seem like it was struck incorrectly or on the wrong metal? If any of these things are present, it could be worth having an expert take a closer look. Also, remember that coin values fluctuate with demand, market interest, and the overall economy. So even a coin worth a few $100s today might be worth more in the future if interest in modern errors and varieties continues to grow. So, to wrap it all up, the 1988 D Washington quarter is a coin with a rich history, solid design, and potential hidden value. While most of these coins are common and worth only face value, some in pristine condition or with rare errors can be worth hundreds or even a few $1,000s. But despite rumors and viral claims, there is currently no verifiable record of any 1988 D quarter selling for $2.1 million. Still, that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your spare change. Every legendary coin story starts with someone who looked twice at an ordinary-looking coin and took the time to learn what they had. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you think you might have a valuable 1988 D quarter or any rare coin, drop a comment below and share your story. Who knows, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. See you next time, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want a shorter version and intro hook, or maybe even a voiceover version with pacing cues. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are uncovering the full story behind a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket right now, the 1990 D Washington quarter. This coin has gained a lot of attention lately, and you might have seen stories or posts online claiming that a single 1990 D quarter sold for an astonishing $2.2 million. Is it true? Is this common coin suddenly worth more than a mansion? Well, buckle up, because we are diving deep into the coin's history, production details, collector value, and separating fact from fiction. Let's begin with the history. The Washington quarter has been a mainstay in American coinage since 1932, when it was first issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the quarter features a left-facing portrait of George Washington on the front and a heraldic eagle on the back. This design remained unchanged all the way until 1998, which makes the 1990 D quarter part of that long and iconic series. In 1990, the United States Mint in Denver struck over 925 million Washington quarters with the D mint mark. This massive mintage means that the 1990 D is extremely common, and you can still find them in circulation today. The coin is made of a copper-nickel clad composition with a copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, with the standard reeded edge you'd expect on any modern quarter. Now, here's where things get interesting. Most 1990 D quarters are worth exactly 25 cents. That's right. If you pull one out of your change jar or find one on the street, chances are it's only worth face value. But the story doesn't end there, because like any coin series, there are exceptions. Coins that were preserved in perfect condition or struck with errors can sell for much more. Let's talk about condition. Grading plays a huge role in determining value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with anything graded mint state 60 and above considered uncirculated. A 1990 D quarter in mint state 65 could be worth between $5 and $20 depending on demand and market conditions. If the coin is graded MS 66, it could sell for $30 to $60, and coins graded MS 67 are far more scarce and have sold for well over $100 and sometimes more. Now, while those are nice prices, they are still nowhere near $2.2 million. So where does that number come from? If you've seen headlines or viral social media posts claiming that a 1990 D Washington quarter sold for millions, it is important to understand that these claims are not backed by any verified auction records. There is no official listing from major grading services like PCGS or NGC confirming that a 1990 D quarter has ever sold for anything close to that amount. So, why are people saying it's worth millions? Most of the time, it comes down to misinformation, viral clickbait articles, and misunderstandings about coin grading and rare errors. Some sites or videos will show a regular 1990 D quarter and claim it is extremely rare, without giving any evidence or context. This creates confusion, especially for people who are new to coin collecting or just curious about the coins in their pocket now. That said, there are still a few special cases where a 1990 D quarter could be worth more than you think. One reason could be a mint error. Some coins were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet, for example on a nickel or even a foreign coin. These types of errors are incredibly rare and can bring in anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s, depending on condition and rarity. Other potential valuable errors include double dies, off-center strikes, and missing clad layers. For example, if you find a 1990 D quarter that is off-center or shows doubling on the date or the letters of Liberty or In God We Trust, you may have a genuine error coin worth investigating. Another rare error would be a quarter missing its nickel layer, revealing the pure copper underneath. These types of minting mistakes are what collectors go crazy for and can elevate the value of an otherwise common coin. Another thing to consider is provenance. If a coin is somehow tied to a historical event or a unique story, it might have value beyond its condition or grade. But as of now, there is no documented 1990 D quarter that fits that bill. So what should you look for if you want to find out if your 1990 D quarter is worth more than 25 cents? First, check the condition. If it looks uncirculated with no scratches, wear, or marks, you might have a higher grade coin. Then look for any visible errors like off-center designs, doubling, or discoloration. Next step would be to get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC, which will authenticate and assign a grade to your coin. And remember, even if your coin isn't worth thousands of dollars, it's still a piece of history. The Washington Quarter series is one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, and owning a pristine example from any year, especially one over 30 years old, is something to be proud of. So, to wrap this up, here's the bottom line. The 1990 D Washington Quarter is a very common coin, with most examples worth only face value. Coins in exceptional condition can bring in modest premiums, and rare error varieties can be worth hundreds or even thousands. But as of today, there is no verified record of any 1990 D quarter selling for $2.2 million. So if you see a headline claiming that someone sold theirs for millions, take it with a grain of salt. That being said, it never hurts to check your change, because coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know when you might find something valuable. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to discover a rare error variety that makes the news for real. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1990 D quarter, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos on rare and valuable coins, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found a strange or potentially valuable coin in your own pocket change. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking your coins. Let me know if you'd like a custom intro, tagline, or voiceover pacing cues for video production. Welcome back to the channel, where coins aren't just coins. They're stories, mysteries, and in some rare cases, multi-million-dollar treasures. Rarest coins. Today, we're going to dive deep into a coin you've probably held in your hand countless times without even realizing its potential value. We're talking about the 1991 P Washington Quarter Dollar. At first glance, it's just another 25-cent piece. But beneath its silver-colored surface lies a fascinating history. And in one astonishing case, a version of this very coin has been linked to a staggering price tag of $2.5 million. So how does a quarter become worth more than most houses? What makes this coin special? And could there be one in your own change jar right now? Stay tuned, because we're about to explore everything you need to know about the 1991 P Washington Quarter. Let's start with the basics. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 as a one-year commemorative coin to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design was created by John Flanagan, and it became so popular that it replaced the previous standing Liberty quarter and stayed in circulation for decades. The front of the coin, or obverse, features a left-facing portrait of George Washington. The reverse side, until 1998, displayed a powerful eagle with wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, a symbol of strength and peace. Now, let's fast forward to 1991. This was a few years before the state quarters program changed the face of American quarters forever. Back then, the United States Mint was still producing the classic Washington design. In 1991, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 570 million Washington quarters. These coins were struck for general circulation, meaning they were made to be used every day, passed from hand to hand, spent on vending machines, parking meters, or maybe even lost under a couch cushion. With so many made, you might assume that a 1991 P quarter isn't worth anything beyond 25 cents. And for the vast majority, that's true. Most 1991 P quarters are only worth face value unless they're in exceptional condition. But here's where things get exciting. In the world of coin collecting, value is determined not only by age or mintage numbers, but by rarity, condition, and errors. And in one jaw-dropping case, a rare 1991 P quarter reportedly sold in a private transaction for an unbelievable $2.5 million. The story behind this coin has fascinated collectors and mystery lovers alike. According to the reports, this wasn't just any 1991 P quarter. This specific coin was a once-in-a-lifetime error. It was believed to have been struck on a planchet intended for another coin, possibly a foreign denomination, and it featured unusual metal composition. Some versions of the story even claim the coin had a double denomination error, meaning it had design elements from two different coins on one surface. Combine that with nearly flawless condition, and you have a recipe for a coin that collectors would fight over. The coin was said to be graded by a professional grading service at an extremely high level, possibly mint state 68 or even higher. Now for those unfamiliar, most coins straight from circulation grade far lower due to scratches, wear, and general handling. But a coin that's perfectly preserved, especially with a rare minting error, can be worth far more than face value. In some cases, those kinds of coins become the holy grail for elite collectors with deep pockets. Was the $2.5 million sale real? Some say yes, claiming it was a private deal between two high-end collectors. Others are skeptical, suggesting the story may have grown over time, with the coin's value inflated by rumors or misreported transactions. What we do know is this: rare error coins in top condition have sold for six figures or more, and some even push into the millions. So even if this particular story is more legend than fact, it's still a powerful reminder that massive value can be hiding in plain sight. So, what should you be looking for in your 1991 P Washington quarters? First, examine the coin closely. Flip it in the light. Check for any irregularities in the design. Does anything look off-center? Do the letters or date seem doubled or blurred? Are the edges uneven or smooth where they shouldn't be? These could be signs of a minting error. Next, check the condition. Is the coin shiny with sharp details and little to no wear? That might be a high-grade coin. Most circulating coins show wear after years of use. But if you find one that looks brand new, especially from 1991, it's worth a closer look. And finally, if you suspect you have a rare or error coin, don't try to clean it or alter it. Cleaning a coin can actually reduce its value. Instead, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can give you an official grade, authenticate the coin, and help you understand what it might be worth in today's market. You might not find the $2.5 million coin, but you could still discover a quarter worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And for many collectors, the thrill of the hunt is just as exciting as the payoff. Remember, coins are more than just currency. They're pieces of history. They've traveled through time, passed from hand to hand, and sometimes they carry mistakes or mysteries that make them priceless. That's why even a 1991 quarter can be a millionaire's coin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden world of rare quarters, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got more coin stories coming your way, from hidden treasures in pocket change to legendary finds that shook the collector world. Until next time, keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the value of the coins in your pocket. You just might be holding a fortune without even knowing it. Stay curious, keep collecting, and as always, happy hunting. Would you like a version of this script formatted for voiceover pacing or with timecode suggestions for visuals? I can also help you craft a catchy video title, thumbnail text, and description if you're uploading to YouTube.